Boo! Hello there, Meow Mentors, and happy Halloween. It's Halloween today. What a fun day we have today. This is Cat Lady Justin. This is the Kitty Boss, where we pick, pamper, and protect your practically perfect pussycat for a lifetime of unconditional love. And we're actually using this opportunity to start something new, a short show, something that won't be as long or in depth, but will be more focused and narrow and really, really relevant to all issues concerning digestion, elimination, and everything around that, like the litter box, because this show is sponsored by Scoop Buddy, which is a wonderful product, which we'll talk about more as the show progresses over the next year and beyond. So I'm going to just leave it at that and say that, and bring on, of course, the inventor, the founder of this wonderful product and company, who is also known as the Cat Savant. So I'm the Kitty Boss, and she is the Cat Savant. So welcome. It's lovely to see you. Of course, wearing your kitty cat hat because it is Halloween after all. And do you know what? I have a costume too, but it's not really a costume. It's a wand because I love Harry Potter and I don't love this character. Okay, it's not my favorite character, but she was obsessed with cats. So Dolores Umbridge was a bad guy. She was a headmistress of Hogwarts. She abused the children and had this cool looking pinkish wand. She wore pink everywhere. And she loved and was obsessed with cats. She was a crazy cat lady. So, in other words, that's why I have the wand, not because I love the character, because I love her love of cats. So that's sort of my costume for the day. So anyway, welcome to the show. We've got quite
Thank
a
you. Thanks for
lot to
having
talk
me. Great
about
to
in
see
10 minutes.
you. Yes. It's a
Yeah,
short and
because
sweet show.
we said we promised we'd do that because not everybody has time to devote to a big show, but we have a super important topic to talk about because this is something that affects everybody, especially this time of year. Because hey, it's Halloween and cats are going to be eating. And they're going to be eating their food, and they're hopefully not going to be eating any of your candy because that's potentially poisonous and toxic because of the chocolate is poisonous.
Yes.
And the sugar, even just the sugar alone, even though it's not necessarily a poison, cat bodies are so small. It takes just a little bit of sugar to give them diabetes. And you don't want to do that to your cat. So let's talk a bit about that first and foremost, and then talk about what that might do to their digestion and their elimination in the litter box.
Yeah. So, right now we have lots of sweet treats in the house. And personally, our two kitties love more so like the crinkly, like sensory of the wrapper. And so I find
Mm-hmm.
them sometimes getting them off the table even and batting them around. And, really want to try and keep them hidden away, locked away. So they're not consuming any type of chocolate or even the artificial sweeteners like the xylitol. Like there's so much that goes into it that's really not good for them. And even, even if your kids are partaking or yourself, making sure those wrappers get in the garbage because even the trace amounts can really affect them and their digestion.
Yeah, and talking about the xylitol, that's a great product. It's good. It's actually good for your teeth. It's very good for your oral hygiene and the health of your teeth. It's a great sugar substitute. However, it is highly poisonous to cats. So if you have xylitol even in your toothpaste, because they put it in toothpaste not for sweetness, but to actually because it's good for your teeth. Or if you cook with it or do something with it, then really please be careful. Even if it isn't Halloween, all year round. I actually don't even have it in the house. I did once or twice, but I just too worry about spilling some and then the
Yeah.
cats get at it and then it could really hurt them. So xylitol is a great product, but not for cats. It's toxic and poisonous to cats. So we got to be careful, especially if it's in your candy, because that could really
Yes.
ruin their whole digestion. And then, let's say they do get into something they shouldn't get into. Um, and how might that affect their sort of elimination? Like, I'm thinking, could it cause some blockage? What might we notice in the litter
Yeah, I guess,
box?
we've had some experience with blockage, unfortunately, not even from the candy. It was just from decorations, like little pieces
Mm.
of
Oh,
ribbon or, things like that. You try our best to get it out. We had a balloon actually, and it floated down to the ground in the middle of the night. and my Penelope got the ribbon. So we had some intestinal blockage. So, some things to look for certainly is just making sure they can actually go to the bathroom. So checking that litter box frequently is super important. Depending on what they got into, that you could be facing, some diarrhea or vomiting. So either end, really. And, just I would say frequently, if you think something happened, if you find like remnants, you're like, okay, but you're not sure, just keep a close look on their litter box behavior and just all around. If they're lethargic, you want to talk to your vet immediately. If you're really noticing any behaviors that are atypical for your particular cat. And then there's also the poison helpline number as well. And if it's like an emergency situation where it's late at night or over the weekend, perhaps, your vet wouldn't be available, you can always give them a call. I know they do charge a fee for each, case, but if you need someone, that's an option as well.
Yeah, and so that is for the United States, of course, and we have most of our listeners in the USA. So what is that? Do you happen to know that number? If not, it's okay. We can always look it up. But
yeah, I Googled it really quick. It's like a 1-800 number,
okay.
So it's not one that's really easy to remember, but it pops up, right away. So if you say, poison or pet helpline.
Pet helpline, pet poison, my cat poison helpline. You can get some assistance there. If you're in the UK, because we do have quite, a bunch of listeners here, which is where I live, is then we don't have the same hotline, but there are services that operate 24/7. There's emergency veterinary services. If you subscribe to certain products or services like certain premium cat foods and stuff, you get free VidiVet. VidiVet is wonderful. It's an app, and it's 24/7. You can get a veterinary consultation, or you could subscribe to it and pay for it. But I would rather not, because I get the best cat food for my cats, and I get that kind of as an add-on. So also many insurance policies in this country have a free subscription for their insured members to things like VidiVet, or Jolie Pet Care is another one. So there's lots of them out there that are available here. And then if you got no money, there is emergency veterinary service available for assistance via what we call the PDSA here. So even if you don't have you don't pay for the vet, because people on low income in this country can still have pets and just not pay for the vet. They just have to apply and get PDSA support through their veterinary channels. I think that's an awesome thing, to be honest with you.
That's a great program.
But anyway, so I just wanted to say that, because we do have quite a few people here and friends in the UK. But for the majority of you guys, you Meow Mentors, you'll be in the USA. So it's just a matter of real quick Googling that pet poison, and you'll find that 800 number, and you'll be able to talk to someone. And hey, it ain't free. But it's worth it, because it's your cat's life, for heaven's sake. So I just wanted to mention a couple, I guess, tips or pieces of advice I'd say to help your cat avoid eating something they shouldn't eat, or drinking something they shouldn't drink, and whether that's poisonous or over sugary or whatever it is. Even if you have an outdoor cat, and I think this is more common in the UK than in the US to have an outdoor cat, keep them in for Halloween. Because there's a lot of people out there. They don't all have good intentions, but even if they do have good intentions, there's a lot of people outside. The cat might get disoriented and then lose their way. They might get lost. And even here in this country, where Halloween isn't as big as it is in the USA, I'd still suggest keep them in, because some people are shooting off fireworks. We'll have a holiday called Burns Night coming up, and that'll scare the cat. They could get disoriented and again get lost, or get frightened and have all these harmful effects from stress. We'll talk more about stress in another.
With trick-or-treaters coming in, you're opening the door often. So even if it's not an outdoor cat, they might just get spooked, disoriented, as you said. There's a lot of traffic, if you have, depending on where you live, and they might, slip out. So just, be mindful of that. And
so for this night and other nights where there's fireworks and stuff, keep them in. Just keep them in. They can go out the rest of the year. Keep them in. Even in the UK. I mean, we'll talk more about those details and stress and the effects of stress on digestion and elimination at another episode, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. We also have a comment from one of our friends who actually lives in the UK. VidiVet is amazing for backup. Some vet practices are very expensive. And Leslie, you're totally right. Some vet practices are very expensive. My vet is kind of in the middle ground. I use Vets for Pets, same company that owns Pets at Home. So it's a big company. It's a chain, but they're owned and operated. So they're not. So it's almost more like a franchise. So for the vet that I go to has seen my cats for 13 years. So they know my cats. I mean, he knows my cats. I even convinced him to make a house call once because I just didn't want to stress my Emily out to bring her to the vet. So I paid him extra and he came to the house to give her an injection. So anyway, so they're very, very good. They're not all the same quality because they're all different franchises owned and operated, but they're very good. I prefer family businesses, of course. So I don't know. So the costs vary tremendously, and there's of course the PDSA for anyone who can't afford it. You can still take your cat to the vet and go to the PDSA. But VidiVet is great as for backup, and like I said, it's free if you have access to some things, whether it's an insurance, whether it's cat food such as the one I recommend, which is Bella and Duke. Or other things also. It is a service that you get with that, or you can subscribe to it on your own. Leslie says, so do I. I meant for out of hours. Yeah. For out of hours is of course great. And it's also great, Leslie, not just for out of hours, but for when you don't want to call your vet, wait for a response, go through the hassle of bringing the cat to the vet because it's not urgent or it's not that much of an issue. And you need a consultation. I've used them quite a few times just to either put my mind at ease or to tell me you should take her to the vet for that. So it's just as a confirmation. So they're good for everything, and because it's something you pay for or you get included and it doesn't cost you anything. You should really be using it as much as you can if you're here in the UK and you have that. So just use it. Ask them anything. That's what they're there for. And if you're in the US, I don't know. Maybe there's. Is there something like that?
You have to look into that.
Yeah, we could look into it and maybe bring them on the show and they can sell their wares on this show. So I wanted to bring up really quickly for those of you, because we did say that this show is sponsored by Scoop Buddy. Scoop Buddy is an amazing product. You can see an example of it right behind our friend, the Cat Savant there. It's to help you with your litter box. Now, if you don't struggle with a litter box and it's easy to clean and you stick it in the toilet or whatever, good for you. But most people, and I have 3 litter boxes. So, one of them is fine. Another one is, and then the other 2 need a Scoop Buddy because it's just not that convenient. And you could clip it on, you can slip the mess into the baggie and then clip it off so it doesn't disturb your cat. Some cats don't mind it, but my cats do. So I just clip it off, put it in the bin, and then that's it. And the next time I need to clean it, I just take the clips, put them on. There you go. I have a little baggie there. So it's a really convenient toy. Now, if that sounds cryptic and weird and you don't understand what I'm saying, all you have to do is go to www.catsavant.com and find out more. I'll spell it for you because let's be honest, most people will be listening to this on Apple, Google, Spotify podcast. So it's www.catsavant.com, catsavant.com. There's only A's. You can't miss it. It's only A's. And it's scrolling there at the bottom of your screen. That's not a link. You can't click on it. Just go type it in. It ain't that hard. And you can find out everything you need to know about Scoop Buddy. And for people like Leslie who are in the UK, if you're thinking about getting a Scoop Buddy, they don't automatically ship internationally. You can still get it. I got one, but you'll have to probably send an email and just it's a family business, right? You're not a giant corporation. So there's not like 20 employees to manage everything. So just
reach out to us and we can make a plan to.
You'll make an arrangement. You'll pop it to anyone wherever they are in the world, but you have to arrange that. You won't be able to just automatically click through the website. So that's great. That's all I wanted to do for today because I wanted to make sure we keep it short, keep it sweet. uh, pun intended for Halloween and candy and all that, and keep it on point. So the point today was to talk about Halloween, digestion, elimination, the effects that might have on the poo, on the litter box, on the stuff that comes in and out of the mouth for the cats. So I think we've done that for today, which is Halloween. Next episode we'll do next month, and we'll talk about, guess what? I mean, I'm half American. We'll have to talk about Thanksgiving and Turkey Day, and is that good for cats? I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on our next episode. Those episodes will normally be on a Tuesday, which is will be the final Tuesday of the month. So, if I was here with my mentor, he would say you should know this already. You should know the date. Don't mess around. So that will be Tuesday, the 28th of November. I should have known this, but I had to look it up. So it's Tuesday, the 28th of November. We'll go on the air at, oh God, at what time did we say? We got messed up today, guys, because of the time zones. So we have the fall back and spring forward, right? Well, guess what? The UK and the US don't do it at the same time. So we've already fallen back. Whereas the U.S. hasn't yet, and will, I think, next week or whatever. So next month we'll be back to normal, and remind us what time that's going to be.
I believe we're going to do 2 o'clock. Right?
Yeah, okay. We're going to be 2 p.m., which is Eastern time. 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is East Coast of the USA, New York, Boston, that area. Which is for me 7 p.m. UK time. So that, London, Greenwich, wherever you are in this country. I'm in Nottingham, England. Yay, Robin Hood. I got to show you next month. I have a pin from the Robin Hood Cat Rescue. It's a cat with a Robin Hood cat. It's adorable. But anyway, we do everything here like that. So it'll be 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern US time. Calculate the difference for your whatever time zone you're in. I already couldn't get it right for this. So that we'll do it on the final Tuesday of each month. So the next one will be, and we'll have to figure out what we're doing during the sort of Christmas, New Year transition. Maybe we just go ahead and do a show and record it and have fun. But we'll see. We'll talk about that next time. Okay. So thanks everybody for listening. Thank you. That's why you're the savant about cats.
I try. Well, thank you for having me. Happy Halloween, everyone. And make sure your kitty stays away from the treats, unfortunately. Give them a kitty treat.
Stay away from the treats. So we'll catch up in 2 minutes after I say goodbye to everybody. Thank you again for joining us. So that's it, Meow Mentors. Short and sweet, quick episode. That's the Kitty Boss. I'm Cat Lady Justin. This is my wand from Dolores Umbridge. And this is where we pick, pamper, and protect your practically perfect pussycat for a lifetime of unconditional love. Happy Halloween.